Hi, welcome to today's lesson, which is basically going through the 2016 mid-year paper. Paper 2, the first part of it, which is the first 6 questions. So let's begin with section A. Normally there's a section A and section B. Section A basically is all the questions, and section B you have 2 questions and you have a choice of 1 question. So let's begin with section A. Okay, and then I'm moving on to question number 1, which is basically, hope you can see, this is question number 1. So let me just go through it. It is basically indices topic. So you have 3m to the power of 4 over 125 divided by 4m cube over 5, the entire thing square. Now quite a few things to actually observe here. You have a division divide sign here, which you can change to multiply and then flip it. But before that, I'm going to work on this, which is the square here. So I can just write 3m to the power of 4 over 125. The first part I just leave it as it is, divide as well. So this one I try to simplify here. I have 16m to the power of m cube. The whole square becomes m to the power of 6. When you have a power raised to another power, you can multiply these two. Over 5 square, which is 25. Okay, so this one I want you to observe that if there is a bracket and then a power, the power applies to every single thing inside the bracket. So this is what you have. So 3m to the power of 4 over 125. Now I'm going to change the divide sign to multiply, which means I'm going to flip this. So I get 25 over 16m to the power of 6. After this is just a matter of simplifying. So I can just write it as, the m to the power of 4, and this one you can actually cancel out. You have m to the power of 2 in the denominator. Right, so this and this you can cancel out. You have m square in the denominator, and then you can cancel this and this. Okay, so that will basically just leave you with a 5 here. So 5 times 16, and in the denominator 16m square. The numerator is just left with a 3. So 3 over 80m square. So this is your question number 1A. Okay, now let's move on to question number 1B, which says, can you solve this equation? Solve basically means find out whatever is the variable. So in this case, the variable is an r. So you need to find out what is r. So you will observe here that you have a fraction equals to a fraction, isn't it? So you can write down part B, and then you can write down there. Yeah, let me just copy the question down here. So which is 2 minus r over 7 equals r square minus 3 over 6. So you have a fraction equals to a fraction. The first thing that you need to do is cross multiply. Okay, a single fraction equals to a single fraction. Some of you get confused about cross multiplying. Cross multiplying basically means bringing the denominator over to the other side to multiply. So both the denominators go over to the numerator. 6 times 2 minus r equals 7 times r square minus 3. Okay, so you open up. 12 minus 6r equals 7r square minus 21. So you bring everything over to one side. You have 7r square plus 6r. Okay, because I'm bringing over plus 6r. So and then minus 33 equals 0. Now this is a quadratic. Okay, 7r square plus 6r and then minus 33 equals 0. I'm writing it on the left side. Now this is basically a quadratic. Now the way you solve a quadratic is, of course, you can use your calculator, one method, but you need to show the steps, which is you need to use r equals negative b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, now a is, you should know that a is 7, b is 6, and then c is negative 33. You must take it along with the signs. So you can substitute here. You will get negative, and then you have a 6 plus minus square root of b square. So 6 square minus 4ac over 2 times a, which is 7. Okay, so you can simplify this. One root will be this negative 6 plus square root of this over 14. Another one will be negative 6 minus. So it's a plus or a minus. Okay, so negative 6 plus minus. This entire thing, when I key into the calculator, I get square root of 960 over 14, right? So one answer is negative 6 plus square root of 960 over 14. Another answer is negative 6 minus square root of 960 over 14, which gives you two answers. Okay, and I'm going to only write the three SF answers because it's the final answer. So I get 1.78 or negative 2.64. 1.78 or negative 2.64, 3SF, both of them. If I had to have a part C where I'm going to use it, I have to write down the full calculator answer. Okay, so let's move on to question number 2 here. All right, can you see it? Question number 2. Now, the diagram shows a triangle PQR that is drawn for you. The points are given to you, and then they say that they want PQRS to be a rhombus. Now, you should know about a rhombus, that a rhombus is basically equal sides, right? So you can observe here from P to Q, how many have you moved? How many points have you moved? Negative 2 means there's a negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just counting the X movement here. I have 2 on this on the negative side and 5 on this side. So the 7 boxes have actually moved here. Correct? So if I've moved 7 boxes here, same thing from R to S as well. I need to move 7 boxes, which means R is at 7, negative 1, right? So if I move 7 boxes here, I will observe that my S has to be basically at 0, isn't it? Because I need to move from 7 all the way 7 boxes. So I need to have it as S is going to be at 0, at the Y-axis, and it's going to be at negative 1 as well. The Y coordinate is still negative 1. So you can write down here question 2. Question 2, part 1. You want to find out what is S. So that's going to be this. Okay, it's easy to observe that because I want to maintain the same distance here. I've moved 7 boxes is the distance here. So here as well must be 7. So it's going to be all the way here, which is 0, 7. So just so you can visualize it, I can just draw it for you here. Okay, this is your S, which is your 0, negative 1. So if I join it here, it's going to be a rhombus. Okay, this diagram may not have been drawn to scale, so it's something that you should also know. Okay, next one. Now find the equation. Part B says, can you find the equation of, this is part A, part B, find the equation of the line PQ. First write down the coordinates of P and Q. P is given by negative 2, 5, and then Q is given by 5, 5. Okay, so one thing is, you can use Y equal mx plus c, all those things, but you have to observe this first, that this is actually a horizontal line. Okay, and the Y coordinate is the same. Okay, so the easiest way to say this is, I don't have to go and find the gradient. I don't have to go and find everything because the gradient is actually 0. So it's going to be Y equals 0 plus C. And what is your C? This point here, which is your, this is 7 units. It's not the 7. This entire thing is 7 units. So you observe that this is at Y point of 5. Right? The Y is 5 here. So the equation of this line is just going to be Y equals 5. At every point on this line, the Y coordinate is going to be just 5. See, it's 5 over here. The Y coordinate is 0, the 0, 5 is the point here. Y coordinate is still 5. Y coordinate is still 5. So if you have a horizontal line, you can straight away write Y equals 5. Okay. Then the second part says, can you go and find the equation of PR? Okay, great. I find the equation of PR, which is quite straightforward. P is negative 2, 5, and R is given by 7, negative 1. This one you can do it the proper way, which is basically just define the gradient and then go and find Y equal mx plus c. Gradient is m is given by y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So you know that this one is x1, y1, x2, y2. Always points are given by x1, y1. First point, second point is x2, y2. So negative 1 minus 5 over 7 minus negative 2. Right? So you get there's a negative 6 over 9. okay, can be simplified as negative 2 over 3. So you have this. So once you have this, this is your gradient. So the equation of a line is given by y equals mx plus c. So y equals negative 2/3 x plus c. Now I need to find c. To do that, I need to take any one point on the line. So I'm going to choose the point P, which is your, or maybe point R, which is 7, negative 1. Right, so I get negative 1 as my y, and then my x I'm going to choose as 7. I'm going to have a 7. So I need to find c. So c equals, if I can just move this here, equals c. So c is given by 3 2/3. So y equation of PR is given by y equals negative 2/3 x plus c. Okay, a very standard way of doing this is this. So you observe here, two equations were asked. One is that of PQ. Now PQ, you notice that the y coordinates are the same. So it's a horizontal line. Horizontal line is just y equals 5. Okay, I did not go and find the gradient, etc. I could have done it that way as well. But I can easily see that this is y equals 5 because every point here is 5. It's a horizontal line. PR is not like that. It is not a horizontal or a vertical line. So PR, I go and find the gradient, then y equals mx plus c. So this was question 2. Now let's move on to question number 3. Question number 3 is actually a construction, okay, which is basically constructing a quadrilateral ABCD such that AB is given to you as 7.4. So let me write it down here. This is question 3, part A, construction. Now AB is given to you as 7.4 cm. And then BC is given to you as 8.2 cm. Then what other information? AD is given to you as 6 cm. ABC is 72 degrees and DAB is given as 1 to 5 degrees. Okay, so for this I'm going to need a ruler, a pencil, as well as a compass. Okay, this is your sec 1 topic. So for this, let's start by the first thing first is I must draw the base, which is your AB here. AB is 7.4. Now remember to be as accurate as possible with your drawings, with your ruler and everything. You have to be as accurate as possible. If not, you will not get your marks. Okay, so I'm going to draw here A as AB 7.4. So I start at 0 here. Okay, and then all the way to 7.4. So let me put a dot there and then I can join it. So I'm first drawing the base AB, which is 7.4. Now other than this drawing the base, the rest of the measurements, right, I must actually use a compass. So remember that. Okay, AB is 7.4. After this, I need to bring in my compass for any length measurements that is given. Okay, because it has to be a combination of angle and length. So I need to use my compass. Okay, remember that. So AB is 7.4. Then BC is given to me as 8.2. Why do I say compass? Because if I want 8.2 here, my 8.2 length can be anywhere here. If I keep from B, my 8.2 can be here, my 8.2 can be here, my 8.2 can be here. Where is it going to be the 8.2? I don't know. So if I want to measure BC as 8.2, I need to use my compass to tell me the range of the 8.2. So keep your ruler and then you measure 8.2 with the compass. Okay, exactly 8.2 with your compass. And then you need to go and draw 8.2 here. Okay, in a range, because I don't know where my 8.2 is going to be, where my point exactly is going to be. Let me check again. 8.2, yep. And then I have drawn a range for 8.2, which is this. Okay, my 8.2 can be anywhere here. But how do I know exactly where is my C point? That will depend on angle ABC. So for that purpose, I need my protractor here. Okay, ABC is given as 1, ABC is given as 72 degrees. So let me find my 72 degrees exactly here. Okay, and then I can go and join this line here. Okay, let me measure again. 72 degrees. Yes, this line is 72 degrees. Okay, so 72 degrees, and then I have a, it's actually cutting my arc at 8.2 cm. So this thing is going to be 8.2 cm, and I have finally spotted my C, which is here. So it is basically the intersection of the 8.2 arc and the 72 degrees. Okay, so then after that I still need to find my D. Once again I need two information to find D, which is both the angle and the length. So the angle is given as DAB is given as 125. So I can go and check the angle out here, which is 125. Okay, angle 125. But once again, with angle I cannot do much. I can't do much with just one angle. I need two pieces of information to spot any point. So angle 125 may be right, but then I need the length as well. AD is given as 6. Now the 6 cm can be anywhere here. Like I said, if I want to look for 6 cm, right, I can look here, 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 here. I don't know. So I must draw with a arc there. 6 cm. So I measure 6 cm with my compass, and then I can actually cut it off here, so that I know the combination of this 125 degrees and my 6 cm is going to exactly give me my point D. Okay, so when I join D and C, I have completed the quadrilateral that I was supposed to draw. Okay, so that's about it. This is your quadrilateral. A, B, C, D with all information given here. Now, construct, the second part says, construct a perpendicular bisector of BC. Okay, a perpendicular bisector of BC. Perpendicular bisector basically is, I need to actually have cut arcs here. I can draw two arcs here. Take a length that is more than half of BC. Okay, and then you can draw this. Without changing this, I keep it back here. And then you can draw another arc here. Okay, if it doesn't cut, you need to go back to B, and then you need to extend it without changing the length. So I have found the 2 points here. If I join these two, you will observe that you have drawn the perpendicular bisector. Now, how to know that this is a perpendicular bisector? You will observe that it cuts, this line basically cuts it at 90 degrees. Okay, you must join the 2 points here, from this to this. A very common mistake is just joining here. Cannot. You must join from here to here. So this is exactly will be 90 degrees if I measure. Yep, it's 90 degrees. And then the length here will be the same as this. So this is 8.2 to begin with. So I expect 4.1 and 4.1. Let's see. Okay, exactly. Yes, 4.1, and the other side as well, 4.1. So this is a perpendicular bisector of BC. All right, now the next part says, can you construct an angle bisector of ABC? Angle bisector of ABC. Okay, angle bisector is different. Angle bisector is you need to start from the angle here. You need to start from the angle B. Okay, because the question is ABC. So I start from B, and then I need to cut the angles, the handles here, AB, as well as I'm going to cut the here. Okay, now from this and this, I need to draw in the center now. From this point here, okay, to the middle, it looks a bit messy because there are already arcs drawn. Okay, from here and here, I'm drawing this. Just have to be very clear what are the arcs that you drew for this question. Okay, so from B I drew on to the handles AB and BC. From there again with the same compass length I drew to the center here. So if I join from here to here, I get my angle bisector. Okay, this is more or less a revision, right? You have already done this quite a few times before. So this is angle bisector. If this is 72, this will be exactly half. So I expect about 36 and 36, right? Yep, 36 and 36. So you will observe that this angle is going to be the same as this angle, 36 degrees and 36 degrees. All right, so this was angle bisector. This was question number 3 for you. Okay. Next one, question number 4. Let's see what is question number 4. Question number 4 talks about, can you complete by completing the square. Okay, completing the square question. Question 4, part A. By completing the square, can you express this x square minus 3x plus 1 as this? Now for this, I have taught you this before. You must look at what is the number here in front of the x. Since it is a negative 3, okay, so you keep it as negative 3. You move the plus 1 away. Okay, then this one I plus a negative 3 over 2 square minus a negative 3 over 2 square. Okay, so I take the x from here. I take the minus sign from here. Okay, and then I take the 3 over 2 from here. Okay, square. Then this one you have to key it in, which will give you, this one if you key into your calculator, you get negative 9 over 4 plus 1, which is negative 1 over 4. Okay, so once you have this, you have actually done it, which is x plus p the whole square, right? Which I get minus, so I can actually write it as x plus negative 1.5 the whole square also can minus 1 over 4. Okay, so your p is given by negative 1.5 and then the q is 1 over 4. Okay, now part B. Sketch the graph of this y equals x square minus 3x plus 1. State the y-intercept and the coordinates of the turning points. Okay. Now, whenever you want to sketch a curve, you must make sure that you actually substitute your x equals 0, find the y-intercept. So, put your y equals 0, find your x-intercept. Right. So, to do that, let's begin. To find the y-intercept, you can substitute x equals 0. So if I substitute x equals 0, I should get y equals 0 square minus 3 times 0 plus 1. So y equals 1. Correct? So this is your y-intercept. To find x-intercept, okay, substitute y equals 0. So when my y is 0, I get this. So I need to go and solve for my x, right? Okay, this was actually the same as this, so it's easier to actually take it from there. Or the other ways, you can use quadratic equations and solve as well. So let me just take it from there. This equals 0 is the same as saying that x minus 3 over 2 the whole square minus 1 over 4 equals 0 from part A. So x minus 3 over 2 the whole square equals 1 over 4. Then I can take square root. X equals plus minus square root of this plus 3 over 2. Right? So x equals, either it can be 2.62 or can be 0.38. Alright, now you can move on to the sketching part. So what we have here is, we have the y-intercept, which is 1. We have the x-intercepts here. You also need to find the turning point. Okay. Now the turning point is always going to be, the turning point you can actually look from here. Okay, if you have your textbook, you can refer to page 37, I think 37 of your textbook. You will have a description there saying y equals, I'm talking about sec 3 textbook. You have a part where you have x this square plus k will have a turning point at, if you have an equation like this, you will have a turning point at p comma k. Okay, so the same thing here. This is the equation of the curve, right? Okay, you notice that I'm changing the sign here. So if this is negative, it will be positive. So the turning point is going to be 1.5 comma. This one don't change. Outside you don't change. You just take it as it is. So negative 1.25 or negative 1/4. Okay, so you can draw the curve. Let me just draw the curve now for you. Okay, so this point is your 0.38, and then this point is your 2.62, and then this point will be your 1.5 comma 1/4, and it's cutting the y-axis at 1. Alright, then what is the line of symmetry? The line of symmetry is going to cut it into exactly a cut here, exactly passing through the minimum point. So the line of symmetry will be x equals 1.5. Okay, this is the line of symmetry. Alright, so any bit of confusion here, please refer to your Sec 3 textbook about how to draw a curve. Basically, you have to find the x-intercepts and your y-intercept. And then to find the minimum point, you actually need to find the midpoint of these two. Okay, which you can also find if you have an equation like this. So if I have an equation like this, the turning point will be given by, or the turning point or the minimum point will be given by, remember, inside you don't change the sign, outside you change the sign. So inside you have to change the sign, right? So negative P, comma, Q. So in this case, inside change, outside don't change. So this will be the minimum point for this kind of curve. So with the numbers, you will be able to work it out better. Okay. So for question number 5 and 6, I want you to actually refer. I'm actually going to put up the next video for you to, because the video length is too long. Thank you.